very warm namaste to everyone. So today I'm going to answer a very commonly asked question. Is Ayurveda a non-vegetarian system? Is meat allowed in Ayurveda? So the answer to this question is yes. Meat is allowed. Meat has been celebrated in Ayurveda. So first let's go into the myth. Why there is the myth? Many people think that it is a vegetarian or a vegan system because many a times we relate Ayurveda with its sister sciences, yoga and other spiritual Indian sciences. Whereas Ayurveda is discrete, it is very health and treatment oriented. So it says that the health has to be preserved, life has to be protected no matter at what cost. So the moral principles, the religious spiritual principles and the violence against animals, all this takes a background, and the primary thing is protection and saving the life of a person. So very matter-of-factly, different kinds of qualities of meats. In fact, 8 different types of meats and their qualities have been presented in Ayurveda in depth. What kind of meats to be eaten, so there are meats of different animals living on land, living on marshy lands, living on dry, arid lands, and fish, aquatic animals, seafood, and different kinds of birds. All these have been mentioned very matter-of-factly. So the answer to the question is yes, Ayurveda is a non-vegetarian system. It allows meat. So why is meat allowed in Ayurveda? Because we have to see Ayurveda is basically predominantly a healing system, and the health has to be protected, and the life has to be saved at times, and whatever it takes, the health is prioritized, and that's why various kinds of meats have been explained, and the question of morality or spirituality or violence on animals is not touched. The primary aim is to protect the health of the individual. So there are many instances, many examples where meat becomes life savings. In ancient times, there was a lot of blood loss. Of course, there were no roadside accidents in those days, but let's say in a battlefield, or if someone fell off a horse, if there was a lot of blood loss, there was no methods of blood transfusion from one person to the other. What was done is a goat was killed and fresh blood was taken, and then it was given as an enema through the anus route. Enema was given, and then the intelligence of the intestine then absorbed whatever parts of the blood were required. So there was no interaction between blood and blood, but it was given in the form of an enema, so it was a life-saving measure. Then again, in diseases like tuberculosis, where the person lost a lot of muscle, meat was celebrated. Mutton soup was the main treatment in this case. In fact, it has been mentioned that nothing brings about an increase in musculature than eating meat. So meat is the best form of protein mentioned in Ayurveda. So again, Ayurveda doesn't go into the morality and spirituality of these things, but if we look at other sister sciences like yoga, so therein meat has been asked to avoid. It's been asked to avoid meat. So meat is basically Rajas and Tamas guna predominant. Rajas means energy, so that's why tasks or jobs where a lot of energy and is needed, meat becomes the primary source of nutrition. Let's say in the military or in sports, to excel you need the rajas, you need the energy, fighting spirit. So therein meat becomes an important part of the diet. And if some forms of meat are tamasic, like heavy meat of heavy animals, slow moving animals living in standing water, so consuming that kind of meat is more heavy and makes you more tamas, more sleepy, more low on energy. Even though it will cause weight gain, it will cause protein gain, but still it will be tamas predominant. My take is that people looking for increasing their sattva means light, it means spirituality, it means knowledge, wisdom. So people who want to elevate their sattva, who want to elevate their spiritual strength, they should stay away from meat because it will bring the spiritual energy to the lower chakras, to the root chakra. That's why people who want to go ahead on the spiritual path should stay away from meat. But merely from the health point of view, meat has been celebrated in Ayurveda.